Thank you so much. You know, I'm gonna take this off. Much more comfortable. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We are Move and Groove Productions, and we are absolutely thrilled to be here at the Fringe Late Night Cabaret. I would like to thank, in particular, Gary and everybody from Underground Arts. Thank you so much for everything you do. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who has put so much into our production. It is called ILLUMINOIR, Sounds of Shadows, Moments of Light. And we have fantastic musicians for you, dancers, soliloquists, lighting designer, people who put together the screen and hung it. There are people who did so much work on this. I want to thank everybody. Just want to take a second to tell you about the piece you're about to see this evening. It is in 4 movements, and it is an exploration of life. The first movement is called Water, and it is about being birthed out of the water into creation, into coming into this existence. The second movement is called Shadow, and it explores ourselves with our shadow selves and how we see ourselves and how we are afraid of different aspects of ourselves and how we handle that. From the darkness of the shadow comes the light. The third movement is called Raise and brings to you a sunrise and sunset as you feel the warmth of the noonday sun basking on your body. And the fourth movement is called Bound, and it looks at how we are constricted and tied up by society and what those things are, what those things represent for each and every one of us, and then how we can possibly escape free from those boundaries and what that means and where we go. So I present to you ILLUMINOIR. Woohoo!
Life is a shadow play. And there is a difference between shadows and darkness, as there is a difference between transformation and transcendence. As a child, I was tormented by the shadows in my room. They seemed to come alive as if ready to devour anything that moved. So every night, I would go to sleep very still, stiff actually, frozen by fear. I remember going to see a doctor when I was like 6 after school to see if he could heal me from my affliction. I suppose that his lessoning helped me because eventually I grew out of those fears. However, I remained very afraid of the dark in my teenage years when I asked, what is this dark, strange shadows that surround me? What is this cold, this terrible, dry, short vacuum that cuts right through my soul? What are these shadows ever present wherever I go? Stop! Stop torturing me! Sucking my energy, eating my force! I'm so tired of being afraid! Stop! Oh, if only you had a voice, perhaps we could talk. And why is it that you don't have a voice? Do you think that you're God or something? No, you're not God. God is nice. And you are an asshole. Who the fuck are you anyway? And then I realized, oh my God, I'm talking to my shadows. Is this sense of something dark and eerie by my side a sign of madness? Am I going crazy? I asked myself when I was 12. And since I had not become acquainted with that fellow Plato and his cave, and I had no answers, and my parents, well, they didn't know the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground. I just decided to move on with my life, pretending that the shadows were there no more. If only I would just move on with my life and ignore that they existed, perhaps this sense of madness would go away. Eventually, years later, when I actually accepted that I am crazy after all, I began to ask better questions. Who or what is casting these inner shadows? Hello? There's only one of me here. What does that make me? A shadow maker? What do I do? Do I continue denying my experience? Do I continue avoiding what I know to be true? Or do I face these dark, lifelong companions? My shadows, the ones that I and only I can create. What do I do? I know, psychoanalysis, yes, Freud and Jung, and I'm going to be transformed. By the way, I don't know if this is true or not, but Freud has been quoted saying that psychoanalysis moves people from neurotic misery to normal unhappiness. And believe me, I can attest to that. So I did my shadow work, and I learned about projections, and about the scapegoat mechanism, and about loving the enemy within and without, and yet I was not satisfied. You see, there's a difference between shadows and darkness. Dark, the depth of the human soul. There we discover the mystery of life. Dark is the rich soil that nourishes growth, and dark is the womb that incubates life ready to spring. And dark is the stuff, the energy, the entire universe is made of. So we could say that in the beginning there was the void, and God saw that it was good. Now, at my old age, when transcendence seems to be the only thing that makes any sense, I am discovering that as the moon stands on the path of sunlight, casting a shadow onto the earth, I stand on the path of spirit light, casting a shadow onto my world. Yes, I am a shadow making, casting shadows with the density of my false conditioned self. And yet, I'm not to vanish, but to be ever present, transparent, translucid. I now know that as the illusion of my personality dissolves in the waters of grace, I emerge from emptiness as moving, invisible, silent light.
Obviously, it's not the movie.
You guys got to see these people in light. Illuminoir, get out here. Woo!